Ace pulling the truck in. Got Rooster steering. Hold on, Rooster. Morning, guys. Well, it's probably actually afternoon. Happy Thanksgiving. You can see Camper, my 63 GMC right there behind me. Me and Ace are gonna hop in the tractor right now and pull her in the shop, get it running, get it cleaned up, get the brakes going. And I posted a video a while ago. I've been toying around the idea of selling this truck, but we're gonna do a little build series on it first, just getting it running and driving and stopping. So come along for the ride.
I'm gonna use this Factor 55 to pull this truck out of this field that I'm in the backyard. Hi guys, we're gonna clean this thing up. I got it. I drove the tractor, got this thing in, and now we gotta clean the spiders out of it, the spider webs, fix the motor, and I am not kidding. I am so serious that I actually drove this thing in here with the tractor and the strap.
Ace pulling the truck in. Got Rooster steering. Hold on, Rooster. Remember? There you go. Perfect. Now straight. All right, guys. We got the GMC that we call Camper because of the camper on it. Into the shop yesterday. Ace did some great driving on the Bobcat. We got it up on jack stands now. Opened everything up. I bug bombed the shop because we had some spiders in here, and this thing was packed full of spiders. So we're going to start with replacing the master cylinder. The old one was really froze up. Here's the new one here. A couple of issues taking it off. This line here got twisted. It was froze up inside there on the nut. So when I unthreaded this out of the master cylinder, it twisted the tubing. So I'll either cut this here and rebend it and flare it, or make a new piece. We'll have to figure that out. The weld nut on this hole also broke off. So we're going to put a riv nut in that right now so we can fix that instead of welding the old one back on. So let's get this new master cylinder on, and we'll go from there, see if we have any breaks. Hoping that the wheel cylinders are good. I'm sure they're not, but hey, we can wish, right? Got the brakes bled. The master cylinder fought me a little bit. They bled pretty good. Luckily, somehow, none of the wheel cylinders are leaking. The brakes do feel a little stiff. A little dirty down there. I don't know if you can see that, but brakes feel a little stiff. Might have some froze up wheel cylinders maybe. Don't have a ton of range in the pedal, but it's pretty decent. I think the clutch slave cylinder is froze up. I can't get it to bleed. It's way down in there. So that might be the next task we get after. But now we're going to go get a battery and get a carburetor on this thing and see if we can't get her to fire up. All right, we just got back from Walmart. Me and Ace took the 33, went and did some hot rodding around town, picked up some mistletoe and a battery. Nice EverStart. Oh God, these things aren't getting any lighter, let me tell you. So we're gonna throw a battery up in this thing. Disclaimer, I have fired this motor up once before, a long time ago, but we're going to throw a carburetor on this baby now, throw a battery in it, a little bit of fuel, and see if she will fire up. This baby is just packed full of rat turds. You can see these Oldsmobiles, kind of like the early Buicks too, they have a big valley pan under the intake manifold. This thing is just packed full of rat turds. Pretty disgusting, and I'm probably going to try to get those out of there so they don't catch on fire. All right, here's an Okie redneck tech tip for you. When you're trying to be cheap and save gaskets and stuff like that, just when you're trying to get stuff running or heck, use it. You can reuse gaskets, right? But if they have indentations, so this one had a different spread carburetor on it before. So you can see, kind of hard to see, but this gasket has indentations from the old carburetor, right? Which don't match the new carburetor. However, you flip that baby around, put the indent inside, down on the manifold. Now you have a nice flat surface for your carburetor, and hopefully no vacuum leaks. Carburetor on. Hopefully all the vacuum ports plugged off. You can see up there, it's actually a coolant overflow tank I use as just a little fuel tank to gravity feed into the carburetor. So I got that full of fuel. See if this thing fires up and hook the battery up. Shut it off. Let's see if it turns back on. Now let me tell you, you don't always get that lucky. I'm surprised first crank it fired up. Whew, that is exciting. Let me give you a closer look, guys. If you watched my other video, you know about this motor. So this is a 394 Olds. Motor's a 1960. Excuse me, I know I probably look like a hillbilly right now, but it's cold out. Anyways, the guy got this truck from the original owner. These things came with a V6 from the factory, and they were just absolute garbage. Some guys, it's a love and hate. Some guys love them, some guys hate them. Most guys hate them, though. So what this gentleman would do is in the 60s, 70s, and all the way into the 80s, you could bring your truck to him, and he had all the mounts, everything figured out to put either an Olds 394 or a Caddy 500 with a big 5-speed out of C50s and C60s. So that's the drivetrain that's in this thing with a big Dana 70 out back. Really exciting that it fired up. I think I'm going to go through and probably pull the intake manifold off, try to get all the rat poop and crap that's under in the valley pan so it doesn't catch on fire. Can't really get to it with the vacuum, so I think I'm going to have to pull that manifold off, unfortunately. The water pump's froze up, so I got to work on getting that. I've got a spare 394 over here. Might pull the water pump off that tonight and swap that out. And here shortly, I'm going to head to O'Reilly's and get the new slave cylinder for the clutch and get that bled. After that, slap some tires and wheels back on this thing and go for a test drive. Alright guys, day 2. Working on an old camper here. I went to O'Reilly's last night, got the new slave cylinder for the transmission. It looks right, but I got to tear the old one out before I can confirm it's the correct one. Then after that, I'm going to finish pulling the radiator out, get the water pump pulled out. I'm going to see if we can't rebuild it because nobody locally has one and they are extremely expensive on eBay. If not, I got one on another motor over here I'm going to rip off and put that on. So, time to get to it. The radiator out. It's got a small little crack here, so we'll probably get that brazed up. But I'm going to show you guys, I don't know if you want to call it a trick or not, what I do on these old jalopies when you're trying to keep the cost down. Got some purple juice here. We're going to put a plug in the bottom of the radiator. You've probably seen these. A lot of guys use them to clean out pipes or drains, gutters, whatever. Gonna hook the hose to this, blast the radiator, let that run for a while, get as much crap out of there as we can, shake it up. Then we're gonna fill it full of some purple juice, a little bit of water, and let her sit for 24 hours. And then we'll repeat this process, flush it out. That usually gets all the rust and crap out of it. So, see if that works. We're gonna start by hosing her down. Whew, all right. Got the new slave cylinder in on the clutch. I think it's bled. It still feels really light, but I ran a lot of fluid through it. And got the radiator cooking outside. Just got the extremely heavy intake manifold off. Good Lord, and let me show you why I took that thing off. You ever seen a rat's nest like that? I mean, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff under there. So I'm gonna get that vacuumed up. get some new gaskets on and get that thing back installed. So I got the intake manifold on. Just put the new thermostat in. Let me tell you, that thing was heavy, that intake manifold. Good Lord. So now, I just took the water pump off this 394 I had, and I'm going to use it on that motor because these aren't readily available and they're hard to find. So I don't have a gasket for it, so I got some gasket paper from O'Reilly's. We're going to trace that out and make us a gasket. All right, we're back at it. I think I'm day 3 or 4 into this thing. Been working on it here and there a little bit in the night. So you can see I got this thing polished out, and man, the patina on this thing is just phenomenal. Let's get you a close up. Great reflection in it. This thing just turned out nice. Ended up going with a 2000 grit sandpaper, wet sanded the whole truck. Then I went through, rotary buffed it or polished it, and then went through and buffed and waxed it. Also got the seat out, got the whole cab cleaned up in there. New fuel tank, whole new fuel system in here, new fuel pump, fuel lines all the way to the front. Started messing with a little bit of the wiring. Pretty much everything's done in here. I got that, finally got the slave cylinder on the clutch bled earlier in the video. I know I told you guys I was having trouble bleeding that. Ended up putting one of these guys on it. These are awesome if you've never used these. One man brake bleeder kit that's pneumatic. So it kind of sucks all that air right out. Second I hooked that up, it bled right away. So that next on the list, that water pump I put on is unfortunately no good. It was leaking out of the bearing, and those things are super hard to find. So got one of those coming out of, I think, North Carolina. Guy's sending me one. Gonna get that on. It's supposed to show up tomorrow, which I'm super pumped about, because then I can go take this thing for a test drive, I think. Right now, I'm gonna get the shop cleaned up a little bit, get these tires and wheels back on this thing, and we're gonna drive it out of the shop for the first time. Never driven this truck, so I'm super pumped. All right, wheels and tires are back on, and she's sitting on her own weight. Fresh, clean windshield, because you always gotta have clean glass when you're cruising. We're gonna go for our first test drive, even though it's just gonna be out of that shop door, but it's still gonna be one hell of a time. Let me tell you, I am so excited right now. Let's see if she starts. It's a little cold, the choke's not hooked up. It's neutral. Hear the fuel pump, give her a couple pumps. Oh. Oh yeah, baby, we're idling. Not idling great, but we're idling. We're driving, baby. Woo, I'm so pumped. Brakes are working, clutch is working. We're leaking a ton of water, but I don't care. All right, there's the first drive. Super, super pumped about that. I've had this truck for, I don't know, 5 years probably. And does she look good? Oh boy. All right guys, well that's it for this video. Super pumped I finally got to drive that thing. I've had it for just a little over 3 years. And man, that just felt really good. Everybody that's got an old car running, it's been sitting for a long time, knows how good that feeling is. That thing's been sitting since 1998, so that's the first time it's ran in over 20 years, 25 years. So it felt super good. Next video, we're gonna tear into it a little bit more, finish polishing it out, get the new water pump in it, and get it on the road, see how she does. Hope you guys are having a good one. Make sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Thanks.